look familiar? Scenes like these are happening all over the galaxy right now. You could be next. That is, unless you make the most important decision of your life.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Huh? Me? Just hanging around.
What's going on, TubeU? Welcome back to the Plot Coalition YouTube channel. Hold up. The music's a little loud in my ears, but now I know it's going to be quiet for you guys. So I'm going to turn it up here just a little bit. Turn it down over here. We're going to get settled in. We're going to get cozy. What's going on? Welcome back to the Plot Coalition YouTube channel. Good to have you all here. We're doing a stream as we work on episode 3 of Heroes of the Galactic War, which is the Viper and Python Commandos war bonds. It's gonna be a good one. We're very, very excited about this. The next lineup of ones I'm very excited about. It was funny because I intentionally made the first 2 episodes stacked with the war bonds that I wasn't sure what to do with. So the first 2 were the ones that were going to be the most challenging, and now we're moving into, like, you know, the ones that we just have loads of ideas for, which is pretty sick. But yeah, so we're going to do a little bit of environment work tonight. I'm going to kind of talk about our process for this, what we're doing new with environments and stuff on this episode. And just how we're improving things all around. This is probably going to be a shorter episode of them, but it's going to be really tight and be a lot of fun. And just, like, really cool. That's what we're going for with this one. So the last one was, like, comedy, like buddy cop, very tongue-in-cheek. And then this next one's, like, just all about the badassery of the commandos. Something else I wanted to quickly mention. We've been doing a bunch of stuff with the Freedom Alliance and the Save the Children. So we'll be having a bunch of stuff launching this weekend, and then we will be streaming next week. So myself, Commander Kai, and a Commissar Kai. Oh my goodness. I'm blanking out. So I made myself some coffee because I'm kind of tired. Commissar Kai and a bunch of other streamers are going to be rocking it all next week. So we'll all be kind of jumping in and doing stuff. But let's get right into some environment stuff and talk about what we're doing with this one. So let me swap over here. All right. Look at this tree. Look at this nice detailed, good-looking tree. It's a little bit of background over there, huh? Looking good. All right, this is the background of the map. So this is a demo from Epic Games for one of their like showcase things. And we're basically dissecting this whole thing, using parts of it for different parts of the film. But what this is using to load all of this, have it be very performant and all that, and like we can go anywhere in here. As you can see, there's like just so much dense geometry. It all looks really good. And it gives us like lots of opportunity of things to work with, right? So we have different variations of different things that we can run. This is like a little example thing they have in the level. Show off substrate, which is the material system that we're using now, which looks pretty cool. But yeah, so the way that this is all set up and running uses what's called PCG, which is procedural content generation. So basically the same way that a level gets populated in Helldivers, Unreal has a version of it that can do it to such a micro level that's like insane. So all of this is put together with PCGs, and to show a little bit of what that might look like, let's see here. There should be a road or something I can grab around here. Maybe, perhaps. Oh, now I'm not seeing it. Of course. But essentially what it does is, if this should be a PCG assembly, right? Nope, that's just its own assembly. Haha. I was joking about that one. Here, let me see about grabbing. Is this one? No, that's an audio thing. This is a very dense level. But I basically pulled, yeah, these are all audio based things. So this must be all one giant PCG. That's what it's looking like. Let me just type in up here PCG, and we'll go find wherever this is. Okay, so there's this thing right here, right? So this is a PCG, and basically what you can do with it is it has a bunch of math tied to it that's like, hey, your job is to spawn this foliage on the mossy parts of the rock, but you can't put it on the rocky parts of the rock, or like these vines you can only spawn under the rock, or stuff like that, or like the way these pebbles like interact. And essentially what it can do is, if I move this, oh, now I'm gonna look like a fool. This might all be baked. I think we're looking at something that's all baked. No! Wow, I look like a fool. I'll show it in the level that... Oh, there we go. You saw it. You saw where this this stick updated to where it was being placed. But it basically makes the placement of things... Yeah, you can see that's a little bit of what it does. It's not nearly as cool as like when it's like all fully updating and changing. But I'll show a little bit of that in the levels that we've been building. But basically, it is a way for Unreal to tell objects how to scatter themselves and build themselves out, which is pretty useful for a number of things, as you can probably imagine. Yeah. So here it says PCG area. So I wonder if I don't want to destruct too much and break the whole level. But I mean, even these all have like different ways that they populate and whatever, and I can show in like, you know, another one of the levels that we have. But so we can use this for certain shots of different things if we just need like forest foliage or whatever. Like there's tons of great locations in here that basically act as location scouting. But I'll pull up a level that I built earlier and what we'll be kind of doing here in a bit. So I'm gonna just save all that and we'll open up this level that I worked on. All right. Let me bring this down. So this is an example where like we can be working in a space that feels similar, and we can definitely build this out more, but we really just needed like the nest area to be detailed. So this is what it's looking like right now. And then if I move, just to show an example of like that PCG stuff in action. Let's say I wanted to take, so this is a PCG of different rocks and stuff over here. If I take it and I duplicate it, this is not duplicating like an assembly of those things in one position. If I drop it, they'll completely reorganize based on the landscape. So this is an actual version of showing how PCG works. But as you can imagine, you know, doing this is infinitely faster than scattering all this stuff by hand. And we used PCG a little bit in episode 1 to build out the cemetery scene really quickly. So this is what we're looking at. Modin, thank you. I just happened to look over. You popped in with when I love you. Thanks, Modin. But yeah, so we have that, and then we're also running a bunch of other things in this level to make it feel more alive. So over here we got like falling rocks, we have smoke and fog coming out of these bug holes and stuff. It just helps it all kind of come alive. There's water falling off of these. There's, you know, rain. There's more water falling off of this log over here. And then like if you get like super close up to like the eggs and stuff, there's like dust and fallen leaves and stuff around. But if you get like close to these, you can see there's even like little bugs flying around. And it helps bring the whole thing to life and feeling pretty cool. So this is, you know, one of the sets that we needed for the film, and we're gonna build out another one tonight. But yeah, it's a pretty cool workflow to be using, and the nice thing about using this demo level is that it comes with a lot of these PCGs already built, which is pretty sweet, but it allows us to also do this incredibly fast. This like entire thing took me maybe like an hour and a half to put together. Granted, it's like kind of a small set in retrospect, but it looks really good, especially for, you know, the scenes that it is needed for. So pretty sick. But we're gonna build out another one. We gotta kind of build this like little cave bunker, survival bunker thing. So that's what we're gonna be working on next. So everybody strap in and have a good time. Also, we have Mr. Meast, which is so funny because there's that Mr. Beast scam going around on Discord like every 12 seconds. I feel like somebody else gets invaded by the Mr. Beast disease. We'll call this bunker. So we're going to create something completely from scratch. This is going to be a pretty small level because we really need to like focus on the interior. I don't know if we'll build the whole thing tonight. but we'll get a good start on it. So we'll make this probably just 15 by 15, honestly. And then basically what I'm going to do is, because like a lot of the bunkers in Helldivers 2, you like go down and then it's like the buddy door bunker. It's not going to be a buddy door per se, but it we'll make it reminiscent. It'll definitely be more cave-like. So we'll probably do like the backside, like lift that and then do an indent and then build around that. Whoa. Tool strength. Let's bring that down. And what's nice about some of the PCG assets is like we can infinitely create detail in the other direction, like, you know, behind it and stuff too. But this is just like what we need to work with for this specifically. They did Unreal Fest recently, which was interesting. They rolled out some interesting tech for Unreal Engine, not as much as they usually do. It was actually like kind of disappointing in comparison, but I think it's fine. They didn't have any live demos, which is kind of a bummer, but is what it is. Yeah, they announced some interesting stuff. They announced some, I would consider it like in a way some like just concerning directional stuff, but I think is inevitable. But one of the big positive things that they announced was MetaHuman Animator for the body. So now you can do the face and body tracking and everything with a single video, which is pretty sick. Talking about Zaza in the comments. What is bro on about? I'll hit this with some hydro. This we can actually turn up the strength of and just go a little bit hog wild on it. We'll do the same with the erosion. The erosion, and maybe we'll add some noise. Just to diversify it some. And we'll flatten this area out again. This is like kind of my secret sauce. I kind of go over the landscape a few times, doing basically the same thing over and over again. That should feel pretty good. We're gonna block out like kind of where his cave area is gonna be here in a second. Yo, Mad Dog's out here in the chat. Mad Dog. There we go. We'll build this during the day. But one of the other interesting things that they announced at the Unreal Fest was they announced a version of the landscape mode, but you can like model it and stuff differently, which looks super promising. I'm definitely excited about it. I turn this off with global. And I think it could definitely be like very useful. Let's see. Let's bring in a character. Actually, we'll bring in. Bring in this character as a reference. I feel like that should be pretty good, assuming that it is going to be pretty tight once we get the other geometry in there. And what's nice about working with a demo level is that you also get the benefit of a lot of this stuff is kind of preset to already work together, which is nice. Definitely goes a long way. And then maybe I'll want this to slope down quite a bit over there. We'll make this kind of like an abandoned little thing. Someday I'm just gonna post a cheese fact in a random text channel on the Discord server and not tell anyone I made it or where it is. Man of chaos. Hey Ghosty, welcome, welcome. Alright, let's start blocking out what this cave is gonna look like. And we'll bring in, once we get like the general shape, we'll start dropping in some PCGs and stuff. That there is ugly. Ew. Let me fix that real fast. It's gonna bother me. There we go. And then like that a little taller, a little hill, you know? Because once it's covered in stuff, you know, it'll be good. All right. So for now, I'm mainly going with like the assets that they have in here. They also already have world aligned textures, which is a huge plus, because basically like as I move this around, it'll be a little bit different each time I place it, which helps. You can already get a sense of like how quickly this can start to come together. This over here. And this is like honestly like one of the parts I love the most is basically just getting to play with virtual Legos. Figure out how you're gonna make them fit together for what you need. We do love Legos. I think I could add some fun Easter eggs. Like what? What kind of Easter eggs you thinking? Hit me with your Easter eggs. Like a piece of cheese. We put a piece of cheese in episode 1. I mean, I suppose we could do cheese again, but we got any other ideas? Or is cheese so universal that it wins every time? Did somebody say cheese? Like distant family portraits of different bugs from other games are a stinky piece of cheese. A dinosaur could be good. We were talking about dinosaurs earlier, Flame. You might have me there. It's hard for me to say no to dinosaurs. I feel like this is definitely an episode that could like benefit from like a classic, like, you know, movie insert shot of a random wildlife, you know, like scamper up, scamper away. It does kind of carry those vibes. I don't love how much that's cutting into the cave. That's not as bad. I can work with that. What about a semi-invisible stalker that pops out of corners during random moments? Well, we do have a... Oh, we've thrown around the idea. I'm waiting for the finalized script from the writer, but we have thrown around the idea of a stalker attack for a specific moment. So I don't know that that's as much of an Easter egg. You want to know what's an Easter egg? You know what we can put in here? We put it in for Liberty, and it was so tiny and out of the way. But I feel like it needs to make a comeback. We're gonna do it right now. Does anybody know about Greg? We'll add Greg. Adding Gila as a New Frontiers Easter egg would be pretty good. Even if it's just your helmet. That Eagle 1 was kind of a in for Liberty was a little bit of that, but I feel like we could even go even further. Here we go. We're adding Greg. We're gonna do it. Give me a second. I'm fetching Greg right now. Here he comes. Let's do a really quick. Oh jeez. Brah, what's going on? There we go. Oh jeez. This isn't a material that I set up, so it's like throwing me way off. Actually, you know what? Let's just make a new material. Greg deserves more. Greg deserves more. I know episode 2 is finally getting a little bit more traction. The short it has 3.5 million views, which is crazy. Greg gets his own master material. Greg is so important, he gets his own material. Though he's not important enough for me to set it up too in depth. Here we go. Alright, if you don't know Greg, Greg is hidden on every map in Helldivers 2. He's this little guy. So well, he's not so little here. He's definitely not scaled. Because I probably didn't way back when I set him up. So he's really only supposed to be like that big. But we'll add Whittle Greg. So there's the Easter egg. If you see it in the film, there's Greg. Greg is back. Alright. Gotta focus. Got an episode we have to make. Jeez. Over here messing around with digital little snake guys. What was I thinking? I'll just put this in here to hide that a little bit. And then duplicate another one of these to hide that. Alright, that seems self-deprecating, but... I don't know why I still have scale snapping on. That seems amateurish on my part. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Yeah, we're Greg maxing right now. It's Greg's first debut. And for Liberty, we hit him in a cardboard box. So he was at Extraction in a cardboard box. Oh no, now we've hit in Greg. An unacceptable move on my part. Let's bring Greg back. He's got a little house. Aww. Oh, bye, Mrs. Coalition. Somebody wants to make 11 seasons of Heroes of the Galactic War. I don't know if I ever asked you over Discord, but for your mapping, do you use PCG or manually place everything down? So that's actually what we were showing and talking about before. So basically, like I'll model out like the stuff that I want to be super detailed here, or at least like kind of handcrafted. I'll do that here in by hand, and then we'll drop in PCGs of everything else to help build it all out faster. But this is just a really good way to be intentional. So I suppose I'll segue this into another thing that they talked about a bunch at Unreal Fest. So they were talking about like all these new like AI workflows and stuff and what have you, and I do get that they're going with the trend, you know. It's a big thing right now and whatever, but I think it misses the point of intentionality when you do stuff with like video diffusion. They did have some other stuff that was interesting where they were like having an AI model like look at the project. I don't trust anything that has to be like run over the cloud, so I would never recommend like what they were having it do, but it was interesting to watch it do it. It was definitely like one of those things where like, you know, full stop, you have to look at it and be like, dang, that's actually kind of crazy. But then like when they do, crap, I lost it, there it is. But then when they do like the video, like, oh, here's like I set up a scene in Unreal, but then I had the video model change what it looks like to do this or whatever. It's like, what's the point? Like, why didn't you just like make it look like that in the first place? You know, it's like, because they still don't have like a whole lot of control over it. They did show like an instance where they were like, you know, oh, here's what it came up with, and I wanted it to do a tire over here because it did a tire on this side, so I had it like, you know, generate a 3D model of that tire. And it's like, that's cool, but all the time you spent on that to wait for it to kick that tire out, that probably isn't a really good mesh anyways. It's like, I don't know, just jump on like your own asset store and just jump in and either buy it from somebody or like get a free one. That seems not only like more cost effective, but like also like, I don't know, it feels like it would give you better results. But it is what it is. They're doing it because it's a hot button thing right now. But I think it's because it's not in real time, and I don't see a world in which it's real time and stays accurate or temporally consistent in a cost-effective way. Because, like, for example, what I'm doing right now is I'm on a computer running this in real time, which means that, like, the cost of what I'm seeing and how I'm being able to work, like, essentially couldn't be any faster, right? And if I close this project down and don't touch it for a month and come back, it'll be exactly the same. An AI model, if you did the same thing, it would lose its memory over time, and you would come back to it and it would be different. So even if it got really, really good, it would be impossible for it to stay that way forever, because eventually it has to dump that memory and do something else. And it's like, so then when you go to reopen a project, unless you have exported out everything that the AI did, so like, let's say you had like the AI make the 3D models, which is like, if that's what you want to do, then whatever. I think it's kind of dumb. You know, what I like about working with our 3D modelers is the collaboration and me being able to be like, here's an idea, and they're like, here's a different idea. We bounce off of each other and come to the conclusion of what makes something feel real. Whereas if you just AI generate it, it's like, sure, you can get something that like replicates something that's real, like, because that's the reference it had, but it doesn't know why it looks like that. Part of it feels like they want to milk the AI high, but it'll start to affect some creators like yourself who actually work directly. Now someone can just ask Unreal AI for code. Not nice at all. You know, that's fair. Here's the difference. This is one of those. I'm not somebody who is very spooked or scared by AI, and I think I have a few things going for me. One, I never went to school for any of this. I learned it on YouTube. So I have always been extremely scrappy in figuring this stuff out. I don't have like art school debt or anything like that. So it's a little bit more by the seat of my pants in that regard. When it comes to like Unreal and stuff, anyways, you know, like I started learning this because I found it interesting. Whoa, this looks like the old man on the mountain. That's a New Hampshire reference. He fell off in 2002, I believe. Nobody really quite knows, but the myth is that he got shot with a bottle rocket. But he kind of looked like this guy. Now I'm not going to be able to unsee that. But when it comes to Unreal and stuff, you know, they have like these different AI tools and whatnot. And way back when like that all started, I was like super intrigued by it. Like Corridor Digital's like anime rock paper scissors shorts were like, that was like insane to me. And I was like, what is this thing? How does it work? And so I've spent a bunch of time studying it and like running my own versions of Stable Diffusion. Over time, I've formed my own opinions on it, and the reason that I became more anti it was one, just like, you know, hearing how it affected my friends, but then also just like, yeah, like there are like aspects of this that like just like either are like no bueno, or just like, you know, I'm like why would I want it to do that aspect of this for me? Or if I can't do like this specific thing, why would I want the computer to do it for me, at least when it comes to like more artful stuff. So I think there's like, I think one, everybody needs to kind of like figure out what they actually don't like about something. And if it's like, just like, you know, if it's more, I don't want to say like spiritual, but in a way, like, you know, you like swear it off so much that like you won't even look in its direction. I think that's totally fine. But I do think anything that like you fear, you should try to understand. That all said, what I'm building, AI can't replicate, because what I'm building is 90% up here, and that is being able to put together these full productions and leverage these tools. Now, granted, you know, even in the stuff that they showcased at Unreal Fest, it's like, yeah, you can they attached Claude Code to Unreal Engine, and it understood the project, and they were like, hey, like, do these XYZ tasks. And this is what I was talking about earlier, where it was like, that was actually like it's crazy that a computer can do that, and it was able to accomplish some of those things. It's like, dang, that is actually pretty crazy. But it's like, you know, you can't, you could, and this is like what starts to set it apart from kind of what I'm building, is like, you could ask AI to go through all the steps of like, write a script, build the storyboard, like drop it into Unreal and do XYZ thing. And like, you could tell it pragmatically what exact steps it needs to take to get like a final output similar to what I do. But it has no intention of doing that. And by the time you guide it through all those steps, the steps of actually creating the art, like, by the time you would even get it to be able to do the kinds of stuff that I'm doing, you could have built something better on your own. These AI models, until we get to a point with AGI, which I think is like where like things get like a million times more serious on the spooky scary scale, as far as like, yeah, like if these things become more or less sentient, you know, how do we navigate that? But you know, as far as it being able to do the same kind of thing, it can't replicate what I'm doing, because I'm building out a system that can create these films faster than you can on a traditional budget, but smarter than you can with AI. Is essentially like what it boils down to. And it has the quality, the consistency, and it just gets faster and better just by leveraging these kinds of tools. It stops being a form of creative content. What you've been doing is something that you made. With messy stuff like AI, it prevents you from feeling satisfied with the final product, at least to me. Yes, 100%. Yes, meant to reply to the other day, got distracted. Oh, sorry. Exactly. By the time you're done training it and you've either run it out of credits and need to buy more, or you could have done it yourself. Exactly. And it's, you know, like I'm pretty anti, like, you know, stuff with credits and those kinds of systems and stuff. I think it's all dumb. Like, let me pay a flat fee for my crap and leave me alone. But yeah, that's one of the things. I love the guys over at Action VFX, but when they like, I don't know if it's still all credit based, but I know that's like how they had set stuff up, and like even for that, it's like, nah, dude. Let me buy an asset and then come back when I need more. I don't need a subscription. I don't need a, like, if you ask me, subscriptions might be worse than AI. But yeah, so, you know, by the time you get it to a point where like it can barely create the thing, like Sam Filmmaker said, you know, you could have done it yourself and learned. I think that's like the big thing that a lot of people are missing who are like really on the AI hype train. It's like, if you spent all the time you're spending wanting to do it for you and then like coming to a result that you didn't want, because I think that's another thing that's going to separate people vastly. And I hate, this is going to sound like really bad, so I'm going to be careful about how I word it, but like AI is going to weed out a lot of people who don't care enough about the art. And the people who remain in what's going to separate them from people who are like all on board with AI is just like you're consistently compromising for what it outputs. Whereas if you know how to go in and intentionally get a result, that makes a world of difference. And being able to understand like what it takes, for example, to put together a film, and like somebody who doesn't understand that, who uses AI just to generate everything, they are going to be at a massive disadvantage to somebody who knows how to do it, and put it together. And like, you know, I get so many comments of like people, you know, going in and they're like, you should have done this or blah, blah, blah. And like, I never actually say it because it's useless to argue with people online. But when it comes down to it, it's like do one shot or one scene and just let me know how it goes. I think that is I think that changes perspective on a lot of people. I'm heavily anti-AI, especially due to being part of a professional voice-over field, as AI models are being trained to take over voice actor roles, or people decide to use AI to avoid paying for real actors. Yeah, no, I think that's like one of the more detrimental aspects of it, that I think, you know, like I have so many friends who are voice actors and stuff who have been put out of work, or clients stopped calling because it became easier to do it with AI, which is very unfortunate. And it's always sucky when that happens, right? I think like the best thing that we can do as creatives is basically like, you know, and this is something I've never understood personally, when I've seen people be like, oh, like, you know, Disney or Warner Brothers or, you know, whatever, they're using AI and you know, like they're replacing people for AI. And I'm like, it does suck. Don't get me wrong. Being jobless sucks. It does not feel good to not know where your next paycheck is coming from. I've been there. You know, when I was out of a job, when the SAG-AFTRA stuff was like in full swing, and basically like, you know, nobody was hiring when I needed a job. And so it was like, you know, I was kind of just like left to, I did decent freelancing, but like it was so difficult, especially when you have like a family and stuff. It's like, yo, like I need to figure out something else, because, you know, I don't like, it's nice to get a decent paying freelance gig, every once in a while, but then it's like you don't know where the next thing's coming from. So I definitely get what that's like, but I'm also of the opinion of like nothing's gonna stop these giant corporations from doing that. Like they've always been like, get out of here. Like, yeah, like, oh, there's a way to save money. We'll get rid of you. Which is part of why I started building what I'm building, where it's like, yeah, we don't need you either. It's like if somebody who installed Unreal Engine, what was it, 5 years ago now? Somebody who installed Unreal Engine 5 years ago can create and tell stories this quickly. It's like, that to me is like, you know, let's use this time as an opportunity to flip the script and kind of rewrite things, because we don't need these massive entertainment corporations anymore to do what we want or tell the stories that we want to tell. So, you know, let's trim them out of the equation, if you ask me. The AI writers you sent us in our release forms were an amazing addition, by the way. Once I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, I want to be a part of this project for sure. And that's something, once again, I think that's one of those things where it's like, it's such a easy thing to include, and it's like, you know, like there are enough people who see what I put together that it's like, why would I use AI voices to do when like people are eager to get involved? You know, it's like, I understand if like you're a kid who, you know, doesn't know anybody, you're not really like known anywhere, and you're just like tinkering around on your computer and you want to make something, and you go to 11 Labs or whatever, and like, you know, you don't have any idea what's going on in this industry. You're just like some kid from the Midwest, and you tinker around and put something into your movie because you don't know any better. I think you know what, if it's helping you get in the reps, you know, like more power to you. That is not the who we should be worried about. Now I think over time, I think, you know, it's a matter of learning and growing more and being able to look and see like, oh, like it's like, you know, this is so much better when I have a real voice actor do this line or whatever. And you know, that'll come to them with time and everything. But yeah, like for me, it's like it doesn't make sense, and it hasn't, just because, you know, even when I got started, it's like I knew enough actors from way back when that were willing to help me out in the beginning. Whoa, there's like a carving or something. Oh, this is like a mesh that's duplicated on both sides. That's why it looks like that. I see. But yeah, it's like, you know, one thing I point out, I installed Unreal Engine 5 years ago, but then I ditched it because I couldn't figure out some of the stuff the recent have found out is ridiculously easy. To be fair, Unreal Engine has evolved so much in the last couple of years that like so many things have changed. I used to animate in Blender and bring it over to Unreal, and then like you had to kind of like be like, oh, it kind of lines up. But now they have like full animation toolkits and stuff. Like it's pretty crazy. All that to say, you probably weren't like, it probably was that difficult to work with back whatever you were. But what I was going to say, working with voice actors, and this is something that I say frequently, and it's something that AI can't do. And it goes back to like the same thing when I was talking about like the 3D modelers and stuff, is when I write a script or I write characters or whatever, I can write them to a point, but there's always going to just be a singular perspective on who that character is and maybe how they speak and whatnot. And my singular voice to that can only go so far. I can write them to maybe sound a little bit different and have different characteristics and whatever. Absolutely. Like I can do some of that to a point. But voice actors who go through, they work on understanding the character and why they might be written a specific way, and then they start thinking about like how they might bring that character to life and everything. They are going to do so much more to make a realistic character than the writer can. The writer can make a really solid blueprint and like have some really deep foundational things, but the actors are always going to be the ones who truly bring it to life, and that goes so much further than I think some people realize. But that's something that AI cannot do, because AI will do exactly what you tell it to. It won't give you any pushback or try to collaborate with you or even change the character. Or at least like conscious, like if it realizes that it's like, making you upset, it'll be like, I'm so sorry. You're actually the greatest in the world. I'll make your Star Wars fanfic. Like, or whatever. Not that there's anything wrong with Star Wars fanfic, but like if you're having AI generate it, there probably is. But yeah, it's like when you have a voice actor in there, and they're giving you feedback on like, oh, like actually you should, like, I think the character should say this or behave this way. Like that goes so much further towards making that a real character, as opposed to, like a writer just kind of guessing what that might be. I'll be honest, the script you guys put together was easy to follow. The character sheets alongside of that, the general direction from a public session recording, everything you provided made the process so much easier to follow. Everything was all we needed. No, and I think like, even to that, it's like, it definitely had those the qualities that it needed. But yeah, I think like I think that is just like another example of this is the part that like AI can't replicate, no matter how hard it tries. Is like even just that, like understanding like, oh, like this is what's most useful for everybody to have to do, to be able to contribute and whatnot. Like it all goes so far to have the experience and have the knowledge and apply that, as opposed to like just expecting something to do the entire thing for you. Plus, I had a lot of fun goofing around with the recording. Mason Jamoa. Oh, bark, 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 bark. For those who don't know, Captain Cutlass voiced Jack Smith, or the Grand Juror, in episode 2, and Dapster Fox Deep voiced speaking of voices, I am losing mine, voiced Mason Jamoa. I have them on my YouTube channel before they blow up. Blow up in like a popularity way, not not in an explosive kind of way. I think I might just have to take another one of these flat things. Just whoop. Which one scene? I know we did the extra take of the Jack, or not Jack, of Wesson, and he's like, "If I ever die," and like basically describes exactly how he dies in the film. You need to promise to shoot me. It's crazy to think now with like how viral that one short has gone, how many more people have seen like that death scene without ever seeing the film. All right, we can start deleting some of this block out stuff. See, there's like an area we need to fill that in. I saw that recently, was taken by surprise how many saw the short but didn't open the full video. Yeah, it's always crazy to me. I don't think half the views on YouTube shorts are real people anyways, but all right, let's start PCG populating now that we have the base cave. We probably won't do like too much of the interior decoration right now, but we'll at least get most of the environment built up. So first thing we'll do, we'll get the landscape material on here. Hello? Oh, that's the wrong one. See you, Ghosty. Thanks for hopping on, and thank you for the donation. So here's what we might do. Let's go. Might honestly take this. It's not going to populate? Or maybe I grabbed the wrong one. Nope, I grabbed the right one. So here's, yeah, here's a PCG. Which I don't think this one is. Yeah, this one. I think it's fixed. Maybe. Yeah, so this one you can increase the seed so it generates more, but we'll face it this way for now. So it fills out a little bit of the background. Then let's see here. It's like this will be a good example of like if I take this and I say I want to put it like behind here. You can see that it like starts to update some of the meshes. Put some, and it doesn't like it's not scaling everything up. In some cases it's like duplicating some stuff, which is like those two logs that like you saw before. Like rather than lift it up. I want to make sure this isn't clipping into the cave. It is just a little bit. So make sure it touches the ground. But it's logically trying to place everything, which is pretty cool. Actually move this in a whole lot. Maybe make it smaller. But you can see how like it updates super fast and is super responsive and will like drop everything into the level where it needs to be, which helps just like build it way faster, which is nice. Off to bed. See you, Captain Cutlass. It's like super late for you, isn't it? I just realized. What planet am I recreating? No specific. Actually, hold up. I'm trying to remember what he wrote. What the writer wrote. I can't remember which planet he wrote. He's working on the final script right now. But we just wanted to feel like jungle forest biome-esque. Let's put another one of these big assemblies way up here. Oh, our music stopped. We can restart that. Let's just stick this one straight out of the ground. It's a dangerous one. This will be mainly viewed at night anyway. Hey, well, I'm glad you're choosing to spend some time over here with us. That's pretty cool. Oh, you know, where's that, is this one? There's one of these that, like, just spawns all the rocks and stuff, but I think that's it. Might be an actual PCG asset instead of a blueprint asset. Oh, that's the ground for this ditch. But it also loads in all the decals and stuff, which is pretty cool. But one of these just does like rock scatter, but I can't remember which one it is. Bumpy areas. Oh, that'll do the distant. So that's like one massive PCG asset that just like populates all the mountains in the background. We'll leave that. But where's the one that does all the little stuff? All the little baby stuff. Oh, I can't remember which one that is. Nor. And this one's. Whoa! Get rid of that. Shoot, which one was it? Those are settings. Maybe I just go under here and let's filter for PCGs. There we go. Found it. You know, watch this. Right? Whoops. Shrink this PCG down. really want to stick the rocks over there, but I don't want them over there. This is like, when it comes to certain PCGs, it will just like get temperamental. Just be like, I'm gonna place stuff everywhere. How does that look? It's like, not quite what I wanted. Not quite my tempo. Needs more green, needs more water. I could definitely add more to it. Alright, let's disable these filters. Too many filters. Let's see. Let's look just for some ground stuff, huh? Needs more democracy. When do we need more democracy? This is the most overused asset in Plot Coalition environments. This is like bedrock asset. If you ever see rocks on the ground in my films, this is probably what it is. It just makes it so easy, you know? It's just one mesh with a bunch of little rocks. There you go. Tons of ground scatter now. See ya. Have a good one. I know I like was super yapping and then I like mega my brain just went into locked in mode. I'm really excited to show you guys the stuff we were making for the Freedom Alliance charity. That'll be going out. It'll be going out on their pages either tomorrow or Saturday morning, and then it'll go up on our pages on Saturday night. Yeah, super excited about that. It's a lot of fun to create. It's probably, I wouldn't say probably, it is the best looking thing we've made. The quality bar is quite high on it. So it was a good exercise in that regard. But now I feel like it's a whole new standard we have to hold up to. But you'll see some of it if you guys follow Commissar Kai on YouTube. It'll be on his... So there'll be clips from it on his YouTube channel tomorrow. Which the video he's got for tomorrow is pretty solid. I know this looks a little goofy now. Just you wait, just trust the process. Alright, we'll drop in, we'll see. We need another asset here to fill in this gross piece of grass. All right. So now basically what we're gonna do. Yes. There we go. I'm gonna undo all that for a second. And I'm gonna disable this guy and this guy. And this guy. We'll turn them back on in a second, but there's another culprit. Where is she? Batman. Oh wait, is that still? No. All right. This ground still feels a bit stale. So make it more intentional. Sometimes when you have like ground pieces like that have like unique characteristics like those big rocks, you kind of want to be careful. Careful that you don't overuse it. There we go. Now we have something that is looking a whole lot more dense. I think the next thing we should add probably be some ivy. And then we'll start working in some effects. That feels pretty good. Why are these leaves freaking out? Hey, yo, buddy, you okay? I don't know if they're okay. I'll have to look into that. Strange. Alright, I feel like we need to get a conversation starter going. Let's see here. I just spilled water all over myself. Ugh. Holy crap, I still have so much coffee in my mug. I forgot it was there. It's real good for me drinking coffee at 11 o'clock at night. Because health. Alright, here we go. I'm curious. What was your guys' favorite part of episode 2? And what was your least favorite part of episode 2? Let's have an episode chat for a wee bit. Ghosty's back. Let's go. Carl and Butch. The Cliff and Reeves did an incredible job bringing those characters to life. They had so many ad-libbed lines. That chase scene with that ends good job with keeping numbers low. I like that. Good job, son. Keeping the numbers low. That apartment chase scene, I'm not gonna lie, the entire apartment scene, by the time I was finished with that, I was like, I never want to look at this ever again. I was very over it by the end. But that's usually the case with most things. By the time I'm wrapping it up and getting to the end of it, I'm like, get it away from me. But I'm glad it all played well. The animation of the Mason Jamoa, you inflicted 19,000 counts of friendly fire and super taxpayer damages. Is this true? That was a lot of fun to animate because it's very rare with like this kind of stuff that I do that like I get to do fun, goofy things with the animation. But in that scene, specifically when he says that line, the character model is literally growing and just like becoming this preposterous size. Yep, it's gonna be more rainy. This is just I do the initial build out in the sun so I can kind of see everything, and then like once we turn on the rain and everything, it'll start getting darker, more moody, more jungly. Them vibes, them things. We could have it mapped out where like the first part is gonna take place in like a more like nighttime, rainy type vibe, and then another part will be like more sunshine. Well, that part reminded me of when the one guard from Fallout game, where's your power armor? Least favorite part was the taser dog was unrealistic. It didn't zap people that much. Everybody has a different experience with the zap dog. That's what I've come to find. Oh, we got a hole in the roof. I think I'm going to make some materials out about my project, which I'll post details about project in hand later. Nice. Do it up. That's what Lend a Hand is there for. Doing it up. All right. Okay, so this is like the main interior. I think I need to put like some prop crates and stuff in here. and whatnot, but we'll hold on that for a bit. And we'll start adding some effects, and we'll switch it to nighttime and stuff. So let's actually do that now. So we'll make it maybe 10 p.m. We'll shut off the auto exposure, gone. Switch this to volumetric fog. There we go. And then we'll bring in this window bigger. I'm getting too bold. My eyes are getting too... Ugh. Oh, the moon's like right there. Let's fix that. I know what you're thinking. It's pretty dark. We'll start adding some lights. So this first one is going to be to straight up mimic the moon. We'll kind of fill in these cave holes first. You're going to bed? Good night, Mr. Mad Dog. Thank you for coming and hanging out. You have a good one. You have sweet dreams of cheese. And yeah, I always appreciate you coming out. I'm just like vibing to the music. Anybody watch any good movies recently? I used to love going to the movies, but like I rarely do nowadays. I think the last movie I went to go see was Sonic 3. It was a blast. I took my family to go see it. It cost way too much money. And then I think before that it was Godzilla Minus One. And then I think before that, Oppenheimer. Then I don't think I've seen many movies since. Mortal Kombat 2. I've heard good things about that one. I know the first one got kind of ragged on. I didn't mind. I didn't think it was good, but I think it got too much hate. I think it was one of those, like, if you don't know what you're getting when you sign up for this, like, I'm sorry. You might not have been the target audience. Great fight scenes are amazing. The Kong fight are best, and also my boy Noob Saba is there. Basically, it's 80% fighting and the rest is story. As it should be. It's not like Mortal Kombat is really supposed to be anything else, you know? I feel like I'll have to find a way to add some motivated lighting in here because it is so dark. Like buy some equipment or something. It's very gory. They do not cheap out on the gore. Good. Again, that's the kind of stuff that it needs. It's a Mortal Kombat. All right. I feel like that's pretty okay for lighting. I don't love all the lighting out here. We'll start adding some effects and then I'll probably wrap this up and go to bed. I would suggest giving it a watch sometime in your life if you're into a fighting movie. I'll have to give it a look-see. All right. The mist definitely is pretty cool. We're gonna start adding effects just to make this look like even more lively and cool. So we're gonna start with rain. This is a rain plugin from William Fauché. Really great Unreal Engine creator. We'll just have this rain. Just really pouring in on this side of the cave. Then we'll duplicate this, but maybe have less rain over here. Oop. It's actually going to be so much faster to just find our guy. Hello? There we go. Maybe we'll add like another really sizable thing of rain over here. And just turn that up to something crazy. Oh wait, well not let me do that much. Let me go up to 750. It'll let me at least do that. That's bringing in some rain. Then we'll do Hey, what's going on, Wasp? My man. Alright. I think I'm gonna not add fog cards for now. We'll see about adding those later, but this this plugin is, or like effect thing, is super cool. So this is how I add like a bunch of the little stuff. So if I set this to there we go. And then I'll let's find ourselves a rock. It's not a boulder. It's a rock. Oh. Why does it not want to go in there? Oh, I gotta clear that first. That's one thing I don't like about this plugin, but it's okay. Those rocks are huge. Pebble, nope. I know these say boulders, but sometimes these assets can actually be kind of small. Not these ones. Ah! Ah! No, make it stop. Ah! This rocks. There's lots of rocks. Dead leaves, dead leaves. This one. Okay, those are definitely smaller, but I kind of want something that looks more jagged. I might just need to go find a new rock asset. I can also like make these. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Some whittle stones. And now we'll just like kind of tweak these settings. Make it feel there we go. That's feeling better. And maybe we'll adjust. We'll make the size minimum like 0.1 and then maybe like maximum 1.1. There we go. And now these rocks will just fall continuously. You know what we could do? We could duplicate another one of these, but make the size maximum like 0.3. And then make the spawn rate higher. So it drops more little rocks. And then every once in a while, the bigger rocks. Summon 500 boulders. This is like the fun part. This is the kind of stuff that I live for over here. So maybe then we'll do... This might be a little bit intense. Yeah, this fog is a bit much, but it might work well outside. Go to the fog setting and see what we can. Trying to strike that perfect balance. And then this is a really good way just to like all that foliage we added. This gives it some shape. How did I make this in 2 hours? This is the this is what I be talking about. This is how I be yapping, how I be moving in 2026. This is why I won't shut up about this stuff. And why I think it's important for us like indie creators to explore and do more. Because if you rewind the live stream, you can watch me make this whole thing. And I'm working on learning and trying to do more with it. And this is how we beat the big Hollywood conglomerates. Yep, that zoomed me out way too far. I feel like we might need to shape a light here just to really show off this rain. Just a little bit. Now the real question is, so there's a thing in the rain plugin that you can set up. That adds even more. Let me see. Let's see here. Oh, they got these running Substrate now. What's the best way to do this? wonder if I can make... Oh, that is way reduced. Okay. This is interesting. I think it just spawned into existence. Basically, not. Truthfully, at heart, I'm a kid who, like, only had friends because he would make movies and post them on YouTube, like dumb films we'd make together. That's like the that's my answer to it. This is too complicated for me to figure out right now. My brain is too fried. But no, I have a background in yeah, like video production. I got started when I was 15. I got my first job like working for a wedding video company, and then I grew from there. It was cool, a lot of neat experience. I wonder if okay, wait, I got an idea. I got big brain idea. I got an idea so big brain it might just blow up the world. Blow up the earth and everything in it. But that's what's creating all of that. Okay. Sorry, I keep like... I keep having ideas, big brain ideas, and I keep getting distracted. All right. This might break a bunch of stuff, but we're gonna try it live. Okay, you know what I should do? I should actually use my brain. Let's make a duplicate. And we'll call this Rain Puddles. And we'll affect this version instead. So there's a make and a break material attributes node here. I'm like Jimmy Neutron right now. Brain blast. Okay. So if I drag this in. I should be able to connect up those. But why do they have these backwards? And add those. We're gonna try this out. Okay. So now let's take this piece of sand on the ground. We're gonna duplicate that. This will have to be like for select instances. But if this works, it's definitely more wet now. So maybe we'll try. Let's try the same thing here. But we'll do this one. We'll make it more drippy. Rain drips. We'll see if this works. I'm so invested. Because this will also be, so it's interesting. I had to figure out how to do this when I was doing the rain in the opening scene of For Liberty, because this system basically uses a world aligned system. But I needed it to be, okay, there we go. I needed it to be local to the meshes, so when they moved, the rain like continued to drip in the same spot. No, you're not late for gifting, I guess, if that's what you want to do. Yeah, pretty much. That's how those things usually go, right? All right, so then we'll find this material instance. We'll duplicate it. Sure, we'll just leave it called 9. And we'll pop it in there. And then we'll change this one to rain drips. And it should be drippy with it. Let's see, did it... Oh, I had the wrong one. Okay, we'll duplicate this one. And put the rain drips in there. Right, that was drips. Hey, there's rain dripping down it. So now this is starting to look a little bit more like there's rain falling on it. Thank you. So now we'll do it with this one. So now I can kind of be selective of like, what do I want to have it look like it has rainfall on it. Oh, shoot. I hit save at the same time I was compiling shaders. No. Apparently that's something that they're speeding up too. And oh yeah. Oh, that looks like a wet rock. Oh, that rock looks so wet. Let's do the same for these rocks. I'm so hyped right now. Oh, them some good looking rocks right there. Let's do it to these rocks. Let's get these rocks all covered in rainwater. Oh, that looks nice. Oh, that looks nice. Oh, that looks nice. Oh yeah, Luke Meow does tend to give away stuff. I haven't seen Luke in a minute. I'll need to check in with him. I don't know if you're allowed to talk about this, but have you made any significant money off of the videos? Just the videos itself, not memberships, Patreons. Cool, you see them rocks? I'm gonna show my wife these rocks. She's gonna be so impressed. She's gonna be like, "Good job, honey." I'm gonna be like, "Thanks." Do I make significant money off the videos? No, not really. And the video, like, the money that gets made on the films themselves, that it's the films and six of the teasers, because I really don't know what's gonna like do well. But all that money goes back into the cast and crew. So anytime there's like donations on the films and stuff, it makes a like that all goes back. That's how we can afford to pay people. So that's where that comes from, or goes to rather, and helps afford that. So it doesn't make a lot, but it makes enough to, you know, keep people at least taken care of for their contributions. But then like any money that gets made on the film, I'm not making anything off of it. I want it to go back to the people who helped make it happen. And then like the membership stuff and whatnot just allows us to increase the budgets a little bit, or like, you know, have like set aside budgets for, it's like, you know, we know we're gonna have a ton of animation, but it's like we want to make sure the animators get paid a little bit more. We can set aside like chunks to help with that. The channel itself, like, I guess you could say it's technically self-sufficient, but it's like it's not my job. It's something like, it's only self-sufficient because I don't rely on it for income. I would like to, so I'm not doing this at, you know, midnight every night or whatever. But yeah, it's only self-sufficient because I volunteer all of my time towards it. But in that regard, yeah, so like the money and stuff that I make on YouTube, like, it doesn't like the films don't compromise me being able to take care of my family. That's like a non-negotiable. So like, you know, I'm not taking out like a second mortgage on my house or anything to get these made. Oh wait, this should already have a puddle version, a version for puddles. This brain rips. I do need to go to bed soon. I'm getting big sleepy right now. All right, I'm assuming this has a material asset splitter, material attributes splitter. It's so different working in Substrate now. Okay. I'm gonna try. We're gonna rewire some stuff. So overall, is the channel... Oh, I already read that question. Goodness, this is too complex for me to be doing right now. Okay. So I should be able to hook up. Normal, bypass that. Roughness. Base color is coming from up here. Okay. And I guess I don't need the material attributes thing because I'm pulling it directly. So we shall try this. Have you looked into merch or other means of revenue generation? Not too much into merch or anything. I might do like my own merch at some point. But the real thing I'm like working on is like, how do I make like basically my pipeline into a business model is like the big question right now, because if I can make it into a business model of like, hey, you know, why would you pay somebody to do this for X amount much more and take X long, you know, when we can do it for significantly less than that. And just like the pipeline and everything that I've built out, we're kind of proving that it can do a pretty good job. And so I'm more interested in growing it that way and having it be a business as opposed to you know, an alternative. Was this already? Nope, there's just two versions of that. Okay. So duplicate, put it in there. And then pick the drippy version. Joel's cat's trying to curse me, I guess. I feel like this tree should be kind of drippy too. All right, large fallen tree. I curse you with drip. I would have it apply to everything, but that means it'll also apply it to everything when it's supposed to be dry, which I don't want. Did I do dishwalk? Is dishwalk drippy with it? No. Alright. Nice. So what I might also do, let's go ahead and bring in some weather effects. So we have like our localized rain, but now we can just make it like extra rain. Got some lightning. This is feeling pretty cool. I feel like which one of these lights is the culprit? I like the little detail you could see in the background of one of the scenes where the girl was reaching for the monolith, and then later she was dead next to it. That was a fun little ad. I wonder if we should add one of these fogs out here or in here, but just make it like significantly less visible. Make it brighter, but then make the okay, that made it like invisible. That made it too bright. I feel like that'll feel pretty cool. Where's the outside of the cave? Ah. I'm just gonna throw one more of these over here. Oh, that went outside of the cave. It's hard to tell when it's like super dark on this side. I was laughing so hard at the motorcycle scene when they did donuts and killed everything. Another good one. I always liked having that visual in my brain. It's like, how do I bring that to life? And you can see all the bugs light up with when the lightning strikes in the cave. That's kind of cool. Alright, this feels pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how this looks, how it feels. Yeah. I'm good with it. Maybe we just add the dripping rain to this one too. It's like I add it to one thing and then I'm like, let me just add it to one more. Just give me one more. Being over the top and including satirical comedy is a perfect fit for Helldivers. I mean, that's literally what the game is built off of. Now, there's definitely like a way to do it. And I wanted like, you know, I wanted to explore a little bit of that with this one. And then like, you know, with the next one, you know, or this current one we're working on, we'll explore, you know, some more tones and stuff and different things. Because there's so many different things that you can really get into with Helldivers. You know, like the first episode was like way more serious. And there'll be other serious episodes for sure. We have a whole lot planned. But there's so many different things that you can do. So like, why restrict yourself to one kind of thing? Know what I mean? Alright. I know I said I was going to make the other one the last one, but I mean it for real this time. I do need to go to bed. I got work again in the morning because I still got to work a regular job. Ew, yucky. Alright. This feels pretty sick. Alright. So, you saw it here. We started with absolutely nothing. And this is our scene now. Let's see, how does it still hold up during the day? I'm just curious. Let's make it, 2? 10, yeah, there you go. 10 a.m. A blustery day at 10 a.m. Maybe we'll go for a little bit. Still feels pretty cool. All right. Feels pretty neat. I'm with it. I really love how this turned out over here with like the falling rocks and the dripping and stuff. Like, I should legitimately like just start building these and upload like ASMR, you're in a cave. No, Flame, don't tell me that because because I can do that. I have horrible insomnia, and I need to force myself to go to bed, because if I don't, I won't, and it's really bad for my health. But that is how For Liberty got finished. Don't encourage my bad habits. Mrs. Coalition will come after you. I need to sleep. Alright. This feels pretty cool. I'm jiggy with it. Yeah, Facebook moms would absolutely kill for it. Well, actually, no. Now it has to have like an AI generated like cat or something. But no, like go to sleep in the ruins of this cave. This legitimately, like this camera angle, light it a little bit better. And just let it simulate there infinitely. That'd be a good way to go to sleep. Feels cool. All right, everybody, you all have a wonderful rest of your evening. Where are we at? Almost 3 hours. So in 3 hours, little under 3 hours. I'll probably say like 2.5 because we explored the other maps first. So in 2.5 hours, we built this. It looks cool. It's gonna be one of the locations for the film. Sick. All right. Next week we'll be live streaming a whole bunch once again for the Save the Children charity event. So myself, Commissar Kai, and a bunch of other streamers will be doing that for the Freedom Alliance's charity auction for Save the Children. So be looking forward to that. We'll be having lots of fun next week. Some streams will be working on the film, other streams will be playing the game, and we have some other stuff in store as well. I'm gonna go get some rest. It's been amazing seeing you guys, and we'll catch you later. Have a good one. You know, I'm a everybody, all right, good night.